Nightlife in Denton is about to be a lot busier.
The Gulf Coast is bracing for a powerful hurricane.
And North Texas Road Trips takes us to a new attraction in Dallas.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Edison Mesa.
And I'm Michaela Goose. An ongoing investigation into a string of robberies here in Denton ended last night with an arrest. One man is behind bars, and ntTV's Nathan Mayer has the latest. Nathan?
Thank you, Michaela. Denton police arrested a 19-year-old who allegedly committed multiple robberies in the Denton area. According to authorities, Denton detectives and SWAT conducted a sting operation on Cordell Street Wednesday afternoon near Denton High School. The arrest came after school hours as a safety precaution. Ismael Ramos was booked into Denton City Jail yesterday. His charges involve 1 count of robbery and 2 counts of aggravated robberies. His bond is set at $325,000. Reporting live, I'm Nathan Mayer. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Nathan. Temperatures have been pretty cool and hot at the same time this past couple of days.
Right, I am going to need Texas to choose one, cool or hot. Let's go over to our weather anchor, Jordan Miller, to take a first look at the weather.
Thanks, Michaela. You're absolutely right. I think Texas chose warm weather for today because it was certainly really hot outside, and it still is. Let's go ahead and look at our current conditions for Denton. As you can see, we've got 84 degrees outside, feeling just a little bit cooler at 83. And we've got pretty high wind speeds at 10 miles per hour, and those winds are kicking up a lot of ragweed and pollen. So if you're sensitive to those types of things, make sure you watch out for that. Moving into tonight, though, we're going to drop into the 70s with a little bit cooler weather, getting 6-mile-per-hour winds and clear skies. Moving to tomorrow, Texas is choosing warm again. We've got 83 degrees outside with a cloud cover, bringing at least not into the 90s. We've still got 80s, and then 9-mile-per-hour winds outside. If you're interested to see what Texas is going to choose for the rest of the week, stick with us because that's all I have for our first look at weather. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jordan. The UNT Student Health and Wellness Center is providing free flu shots and COVID testing for students in Chestnut Hall, as well as any of the mobile clinics on campus. Flu shots are available Monday through Thursday between 9 and 11:30 a.m. and 2 and 4:30 p.m., as well as Friday from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. and 2 through 4:30 p.m. No appointments are needed. Times and locations for mobile flu and COVID clinics will be updated on the UNT Students Affair page. COVID-19 has kept bars across Texas closed since July, but as of yesterday, Governor Abbott said that is soon to change.
Only 2 types of businesses have not been open since July. One is river tubing operations, and the other is bars.
Effective October 14th, bars in regions with low COVID-19 hospitalizations will be allowed to open. However, county judges can opt out their county from opening bars if they feel the need to. Bars who had to previously change their certification and sales of liquor to food to stay open can now go back to running just as a bar.
So we would like to immediately switch back to it just because operating off of retail and food sales, of course us pushing more food out of the kitchen is great for business for us in the long run as far as getting the customers coming in here safe. We know we are effectively running it as purely as a bar. So it's running as a bar again. The same safety standards and protocols we've approached like now, we've been doing since we've been back, will be implemented and just going straight forward with that. So nothing necessarily going to change as far as just easing back a little bit more on the retail side of it all and the food side.
Bars will be allowed to open at 50% capacity following safety protocols to contain COVID. These openings, just like other businesses, should be able to expand in the near future. As always, if you don't feel well or have any symptoms, stay at home.
Please take your seat, wear your mask, and when you're at a seat, you can take it off and relax, enjoy your drinks, enjoy your conversation, enjoy your friends. But at the same time, please Please allow us to serve you under our conditions and our safety protocols. What's the most difficult time about this is that people are still not used to it, even though it's been 3 to 6 months since we've been open. It's not used to it. So it's hard to enforce these standards with people listening to it. Alcohol, doesn't help at all. More people get a little loosey-goosey when they're drunk.
Additionally, businesses like amusement parks, movie theaters, zoos, and bowling alleys can expand to 75% capacity on October 14 in counties with low COVID-19 hospitalizations.
With bars opening to 50%, Twilight Tunes is 100% in motion. Kayla Holt has more with the story.
That's right, Michaela. Our social life is about to get a whole lot better. I'm in Denton Square tonight, and the weather is nice. I'm about to listen to some live music. Denton's very own 27th annual Twilight Tunes is back as a drive-in concert. The concert will take place from 6 to 7 at the Scott Brown Properties parking lot in downtown. For a $5 donation, you can reserve a parking space, and audience members will be able to view the concert from their car or a lawn chair next to their vehicle. A recording of the concert will be available at dentonradio.com later on tonight.
Thanks, Kayla. We'll check back with you later in the newscast. And when we come back, the White House continues to deal with the issue of COVID in the Oval Office.
And in what sounds like a movie script, the feds have busted an attempt to kidnap a governor. We'll have the story.
If you love them enough to crawl
President Trump recently returned to the Oval Office after testing positive for COVID-19 last week. In a video recently uploaded to his Twitter page, he called the virus a blessing from God. CNN's Joe Johns has the details.
As the White House struggles to contain a major outbreak within its walls, President Trump returned to the West Wing. Despite testing positive less than a week ago, he met with his Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, and his social media director, Dan Scavino, in the Oval Office.
Obviously, with the president, he continues to work. We've got a number of safety protocols with full PPE, masks, goggles, and the like for any direct interaction with the president.
An isolation cart stocked with yellow medical gowns, respirator masks, and plastic goggles was placed outside the president's offices for anyone who needs to be in contact with Trump. A source telling CNN Meadows and Scavino were in full protective gear when they met with the president, who entered the Oval Office from the outside exit.
If you're infected, you need to stay away from other people. For someone who has the ability to stay away from other people, they need to do that.
Trump posting a bizarre video produced by the White House, framing his coronavirus diagnosis as a net positive.
I think this was a blessing from God that I caught it. This was a blessing in disguise.
It's unclear when the video was made, but in it, Trump called the antibody treatment he received a cure, though there is no cure for the virus. And he said coronavirus patients should receive it for free.
I view these, I know they call them therapeutic, but to me, it wasn't therapeutic. It just made me better, okay? I call that a cure.
The treatment the president received has not been approved yet by the FDA and is not widely available to coronavirus patients.
This is not even a therapy that has emergency use authorization yet, but there's not a lot of data around this. 275 people in this first trial, and we didn't even really see that data.
The president's chief of staff says he isn't sure when the president will return to the campaign trail. Another advisor reported that Trump is keen on getting back out there as several rally events have been discussed. While the White House deals with its recent COVID outbreak, one of the biggest questions circulating is when voters will be able to see the next presidential debate. President Trump says he will not agree to debate Joe Biden if it is virtual instead of face-to-face. Biden's team proposed the debate be pushed back a week, but as of now, it is unclear when the debate will take place or if it'll take place at all. Health concerns for the debate started after President Trump tested positive for COVID-19.
If you didn't think politics could get any stranger, members of the militia group Wolverine Watchmen have been arrested for allegedly trying to kidnap the governor of Michigan. Steve Nanis has the details.
Several men are in custody after federal officials thwarted an alleged plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
13 members of 2 militia groups who were preparing to kidnap and possibly kill me.
The FBI began an investigation earlier this year after becoming aware that through social media that a group of individuals was discussing the violent overthrow of certain government and law enforcement components.
That includes allegedly surveilling and monitoring Whitmer's movements and testing improvised explosive devices. Court documents also reveal an undercover FBI agent met with some of the suspects in June. In addition, State Attorney General Dana Nessel announced charges in a separate case against individuals allegedly linked to a militia group in the state.
The individuals in custody are suspected to have attempted to identify the home addresses of law enforcement officers in order to target them, made threats of violence intended to instigate a civil war, and engaged in planning and training for an operation to attack the Capitol building of Michigan and to kidnap government officials, including the governor of Michigan.
The federal charges against the suspects in the alleged plot to kidnap the governor carry a possible sentence of life in prison.
I knew this job would be hard, but I'll be honest, I never could have imagined anything like this.
I'm Steve Nanis reporting.
Meanwhile, the Texas Supreme Court rejected the early voting legal challenge against Governor Greg Abbott on Wednesday. Republicans accused the governor of overstepping his authority and using powers the state constitution does not grant him. The court claimed granting the request to stop early voting would disrupt election plans and threaten voter confusion. The court's decision means early voting will begin October 13 and mail-in ballots may be returned to the clerk's offices before the election.
The Gulf Coast is bracing for yet another hurricane. Hurricane Delta is projected to hit southwestern Louisiana in the same spot recently hit by Hurricane Laura in August. The storm is expected to hit on Friday. Mandy Gaither has more on the story.
For the second time in 6 weeks.
Really, the word is disbelief. Like, how could this be happening again?
The Gulf Coast has a bullseye on its back.
Everything is just kind of starting to get back to normal when this storm was coming our way.
Hurricane Delta barreling towards the same area of southwest Louisiana already devastated by Hurricane Laura in August. That storm destroyed more than 10,000 homes and damaged 35,000 others. In Lake Charles, many are still living without a roof.
It's just a lot. You know, it's emotionally, I think everybody is just battered and worn down right now.
Those in the storm's path struggling to prepare as the National Hurricane Center forecasts dangerous winds and life-threatening storm surge as high as 11 feet.
So my wife was getting worried about the windows, so we're trying to get these windows, put some plywood on them, get them safe.
Evacuation orders and curfews have been issued for several areas near the Louisiana coast. Hurricane Delta slammed into Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula yesterday, set to hit the U.S. Friday, before it drenches areas much further inland in the following days. I'm Mandy Gaither reporting.
Well, as you guys can see, I got a little too excited for fall and broke out the turtleneck, and I am now sweating buckets.
How do you think I feel in this suit? Let's go to check with Jordan to see if we're going to get a break at any point this week. Jordan?
I'm right there with you guys. Today is not the day for a blazer, but tomorrow might be. Before I get into our 7-day forecast, let's go ahead and take a look at our temperatures across North Texas. As you can see here, we've got temperatures across North Texas in the mid-80s, getting a little bit warmer down in Fort Worth and Dallas with 88 and over in Graham with 87. Let's go ahead and zoom out and look at our temperatures across the state of Texas, and you're going to see we're getting a little bit more variation there. Over in Houston, they're down to 80, Shreveport even down to 74, and El Paso up to 91. While it's really hot over there in El Paso, we're going to be following them through a couple days this week as we go into our 7-day forecast. As you can see, tomorrow we're getting a little bit of a cloud cover that's going to bring our temperatures down to the low 80s, but then back to Saturday, we're back up to 87 with a low of 61, and on Sunday getting even warmer at a high of 93 and a low of 70. Then at the start of our next work week, we're back down to the low 80s with a high of 80 and a low of 51 on Monday and a low of 53 on Tuesday. Into the rest of the week, we're back to the mid 80s, and we've got pretty good lows there. Well, with such great weather for North Texas over the next few days, it's a perfect time for a little road trip. Nomi Sanchez has a knack for finding unusual and new places to visit. Nomi, what do you have for us this week?
Well, Jordan, if you're in the DFW area and looking for something new and fresh, AT&T's new Discovery District may just be the spot for you. Let's take a look. AT&T's new Discovery District brings about the perfect combination of tech and art together. With the area offering 5G wireless data to its visitors, people can now get a taste of AT&T's newest 5G network, perfect for that quick social media live stream or post. Here you will find a plentiful mix of dining, entertainment, and interactive experiences through the restaurants like Jackson and attractions like the Globe. The most unique aspect of this park, though, is the 104-foot-tall 6K media wall located on the side of the AT&T Experience Store. This unique backdrop combines technology and art to create a beautiful graphic display that is set to calm and relax the mood across the area. After moving their headquarters in 2008, Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer John Stevens said it was about time to share their growth and infrastructure with the community. Since its opening in Dallas, AT&T has more than doubled its staff, with 6,000 employees currently working there, and is now bringing a historic part of downtown Dallas back to life. And despite this having been a $100 million investment, AT&T officials are proud of the benefits and growth this new area will bring to the downtown Dallas community. Here is what some visitors had to say.
AT&T Center is a really good addition to Dallas because it brings out like a really nice techie vibe. It's a great place to hang out with your friends, bring family.
I think that it's a really cool atmosphere and it creates a good nightlife for everyone of all ages who want to come together and enjoy Dallas.
This district is definitely an experience, and for those of you looking for a new way to enjoy sporting events and movies, listen up, because Discovery District is also hosting special watch parties where friends and family can come together to enjoy movies on AT&T's big screen. For more information, you can visit discoverydistrict.att.com.
Thanks, Nomi. When we come back, a Broadway theater pops out with a surprise performance.
And we'll check back with Kayla Holt at Twilight Tunes to see what kind of music they're making.
leave it to Big Bird and the Sesame Street Muppets to take on the tough issues. In a half-hour TV special, they will take on the issue of racism. It's called The Power of We, and the program will teach children how to stand up to racism. It will focus on showing how racism is hurtful and how children who encounter racism can call it out. Along with Big Bird, Gabrielle the Muppet will advise children when you see something that's wrong, speak up and say that's wrong and tell an adult. The program will stream on HBO Max, on the PBS 24/7 streaming channel, and on PBS Kids beginning October 15th.
While the coronavirus seemed to have dimmed Broadway theater, the show goes on as Broadway stars light up New York with a pop-up performance Wednesday. CNN Hazel Sanchez with this story.
The glimmer and shine of Times Square was back, if only for a fleeting moment, a moving moment for a surprised crowd.
It's really amazing to see people figuring it out and doing things like this to kind of bring it back and bring joy back and give performers the opportunity to do what they love again.
This afternoon, wearing shields and socially distanced, some of Broadway's biggest and brightest stars took over the TKTS red steps to light up the Great White Way, including the legendary Bernadette Peters, performing Stephen Sondheim's Sunday from the musical Sunday in the Park with George.
We want people to know and realize that music hasn't gone away. Although Broadway may be shut down for the moment, art is still happening.
More than 30 shows were forced to shut down in March, many expecting to resume performances when COVID-19 restrictions are lifted, but others, like Tony-nominated Frozen and Beetlejuice, ended their run. The volunteer group NYC Next organized this pop-up called A Moment for Broadway to bring energy back to the theater district.
We're sort of figuring out how we can, be excited and remember what makes New York, New York.
We're part of the light, so let's do everything we can to keep it on.
Tony Award-winning actor Joel Grey and Tony-nominated actor Max von Essen came to show their support and are optimistic Broadway will come alive again very soon.
We just are dying to get back, just a taste of it and see so many friends' faces. It just feels good, it just gives me a little hope again.
We'll be back. Please, God.
More exciting pop-up performances are expected over the next several weeks. And while those Broadway stars have been giving great performances, I can't say the same for our favorite football teams.
I know, Edison, it's definitely been a tough season for the Mean Green. Hopefully, our sports anchor, Sarah Baskin, has some good news about the games this weekend. Sarah?
You're right, Michaela. They've definitely had a slow start so far this year, but the team made a decision this week that could help their record. I'll fill you in right after the break. Well, it's been a tough season so far for the Mean Green. After a 1-3 start, North Texas looks to get another win at home this weekend against Charlotte. After starting the season rotating between quarterbacks Jason Bean and Austin Awney, Coach Luttrell is giving Awney the nod and will start him for the rest of the season. Awney had a career-high 339 passing yards and 2 touchdowns in last Saturday's game against Southern Miss, but it wasn't quite enough to outweigh the team's defensive struggles. Hopefully a win this Saturday will get them back on their feet. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. at Apogee Stadium. The Dallas Cowboys haven't played much better than the Mean Green this year and are also sitting at 1-3 on the season. Despite their record, fifth-year quarterback Dak Prescott is on pace for a record-setting year. He leads the league in passing yards with 1,690 yards through the first 4 games. If he keeps his current pace, he is on course to shatter Peyton Manning's record of 5,477 in the 2013 season by over 1,000 yards. But all those records mean nothing to Dak without a win. He told media that he would give all the records back to change their record. Hopefully, they add another win this Saturday against the Giants. And finally, the Lakers are up 3-1 on the Miami Heat and are 1 game away from an NBA title. The last time the Lakers won a title was with the late, great Kobe Bryant in 2010. To honor Kobe in what could be a championship-winning game, the Lakers have opted to switch back to the iconic Black Mamba jerseys designed by Kobe himself. The Lakers are undefeated when wearing the jerseys and wore them last in the Western Conference Finals against the Denver Nuggets. Anthony Davis sealed that game with a buzzer-beating 3-pointer he made while yelling Kobe's name. The Black Mamba jerseys mean business, and I can't wait to watch tomorrow night's game. And that's all I have for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Speaking of thank you, Sarah, but speaking of extracurricular activities, let's go back to Kayla Holt with Twilight Tunes.
Which is where I want to be. I'm sure Kayla is enjoying herself.
Edison, Michaela, I wish you guys were here. As you can see, the mood is set, and there's still a little time to come out and vibe with us. If not, next Thursday, Twilight Tunes will be happening again from 6 to 7 p.m. Have a great night, everyone. Edison, Michaela, I'll be here waiting for y'all.
They actually did come up with a couple
Kayla, we'll have to join you after the show, but thank you so much for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again Monday at 6 here on North Texas Television.
Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Well, I've just seen the face of a kid, forget the time or place where we just met. She's just a girl for me, and I want all the world to see we've met.